Position over submission. I remember a long time ago when I was a white or blue, I don't remember, but there was this phrase, exactly that phrase was running around the academy. And back then I was training with Carson Gracie Sr. and obviously Jiu-Jitsu, well, maybe not obviously, but Jiu-Jitsu wasn't as popular as it is today, as it was very niche kind of environment, and only the toughest guy of the toughest stuck around. And I don't consider myself the toughest. However, I do think that I was just too stupid to quit. And I was able to stick around through that hard training sessions. Um, However, one of those phrases that kept circling, which I didn't understand, I didn't comprehend the process until later in my training, probably purple if not brown belt level, was position over submission. And to this day, I remember sparring and being in a training sessions, and I remember having a brown belt or purple belt standing over me, and I was a white or blue, and they kept telling me is position over submission, position over submission. And that was like a deer in the headlights. I wanted to submit everybody. I wanted to hunt. I want to hunt those chokes. I want to hunt those arm blocks. And I didn't understand. I couldn't comprehend what they were saying. I heard what they were saying, but I couldn't process the information. And today we are by far smarter. Today we have a little bit more intelligence, if you will, behind the data. And we can make smarter decisions for ourselves. And what that means, that if you are in control of the situation, the submission will be the result of everything that you do. Everything. So if you let go of the submission, if you simply, I wouldn't say ignore it, but put it on the back burner, they will present themselves if you are in charge, if you have full control of the situation. And oftentimes I tell my students, create an environment between you and your training partner where they have no choice but to do what you want them to do. And in that case right there, they will fall into the trap, into where you want them to be. They will literally do what you desire. And if that ends with a submission, well, you just put that cherry on top of the sundae. Why not? See, in my opinion, in 20 plus years being on the mat, there's nothing more frustrating than rolling with somebody and they catch you. You know they caught you and they let go. And they caught you again and they let go. And you know that you could have been submitted 10, 12, 15, 20 times, but yet they didn't, because they didn't have to. They didn't have to submit you. They didn't have to finish the match. They could have, and you know they could have, but they didn't. They let go. There's nothing more satisfying than that kind of power, that kind of engagement, where you are able to control the situation fully. And I'll tell you, as you continue training, and I hope you continue training for a very, very long time, you find yourself in spots where you are, I'll pivot here for a moment. A big point of my frustration points was always passing the guard. I remember rolling with this brown belt, and I was blue at that time, and I thought it was the shit. I thought at blue I knew everything. I thought I can submit everybody, and I remember rolling with this particular brown belt, and I passed his guard. I passed his guard for about a split second. Probably 5 or 7 times in this one particular match, in this one particular sparring session. But he regarded every single time. And I knew that I passed him for a moment. Well, did I really? I guess that's the $1 million question. But later on, as this match stayed in my mind and really sunk in, and I was able to process the information, I understood that I never passed his guard. I got really close. I was the one who was reaching for those cookies, for that cookie in a jar, but I never touched it. I was so close, I could smell it, but I got slapped in the hand every single time, and I got reset every single time, and it was so frustrating for me at that point, um, that it really stuck in my mind for decades of this. Um, that event was very impactful to me. So if you think about full point of control or ultimate point of control, even though you think you got it, you still didn't because they knew you couldn't get it. They just manipulate the situation where you were continuously were driving, you continuously pushing, you continuously were hunting, but you never achieved the goal. You never achieved the milestone that you were hunting. So, to this point, my students are sick and tired of me, but I often say submission is a result of everything that you do beforehand. Hunt the position, hunt the control, let go of the submission. Keep on training. Peace.